Hi, we're back. It is time to check your local IQ, and we're here with Justin De La Rosa. Justin, how are you today?
I'm well, a little tired, but doing all right.
Too much crazy things happening in Albuquerque this week?
No, I just had a long weekend at work, and then, last night was my traditional Monday night wing night over at Gecko's, and that just puts you to sleep.
Wait a second, tell us about that Gecko's wing night. What's that about?
They do 40-cent wings every Monday night, and
How can you help yourself?
I always find myself there. I mean,
How can you say no to that? 40 cents?
It's my junk food day for sure.
Very cool. Any cool things happen this weekend?
In the restaurants, not so much, but it's just kind of one of those things that kind of comes and goes. We're getting ready for some events coming up in the next couple of weeks, though, with different restaurants around town and all that. So we'll get there when we get there.
Yeah.
Had a nice dinner at Mykonos. I haven't been there in a while.
I haven't been there in forever. That's right by my parents' house.
And we had a really good meal there.
Yeah, I haven't been there in forever. I mean, I live down in the Nob Hill area, and my parents live up that way, actually, just stone's throw away from there. And so that's where we always used to get our Greek food, Friday night dinner.
Pretty lively bar scene in there, too. Great music.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, they really revamped that whole scene in there. The bar has been upgraded a bit.
Yeah, I'll definitely have to get up there sometime soon, because, I mean, my Greek food is, Olympia or whatever's
right.
in the area. So.
And Jim March is the best bartender in town. He really is at Mykonos, but I hadn't been in there in a while, so.
Cool.
All right,
I'll jot that down in my notes.
Yeah, I'll keep that in mind.
Yeah, good.
Absolutely.
Well, let's talk a little bit about Mr. Bourdain, who's coming to town. Anthony Bourdain, there he is.
He's our cover star for Local IQ this week. And, if you've ever watched him on his Travel Channel shows, either, No Reservations or The Layover, he's not like the rest of the show hosts, those, Guy Fieri's and, the Andrew Zimmern's, they all kind of get a little bit cheesy, and, he's just real straightforward, crass, great sense of humor, great intellect, and, a palate that it's an encyclopedia of tastes, He's the best there is out there, and he covers everything. He's a writer, a traveler, a cook. He's a chef. He's a TV star. So, and he's going to be coming through, and he's on his Guts and Glory tour, an evening with Anthony Bourdain, and that's just going to be sort of like, just as it sounds, an evening with Anthony Bourdain. He's doing
interesting. A chef would do a single stage show, but I guess he's going to bring a lot of stuff to it. It's tomorrow night, right?
Yeah, and he's kind of taken on more of a stand-up approach, and like he says, bring your good sense of humor, but leave the kids at home, because we all know how his, he can be a little crass with his
language
delivery.
is a little coarse. Let's just say that.
Not PG.
But it's still tactful, and it's within good means. So, the reviews I've read, he kind of touches on all bases, whether it's food or travel, or his contemporaries, in the industry of, travel writing and, food writing.
I think one thing you can count on is he'll lay it out there.
Yeah.
And he'll let you know what he thinks.
Absolutely.
He's not
Good,
scared
bad,
to say
or
what he
indifferent.
thinks.
Yeah, he's my favorite by far, and he's got his new shows coming up on CNN as well, because he recently left Travel Channel, and he's going to be...
I pulled an article off of the media website, and actually his show Sunday night in its debut did very, very well. Beat Fox News Channel and MSNBC, and pulled quite a bit of numbers for his new show opening.
What is that show? I haven't heard of it yet.
It's called Parts Unknown. Anthony Bourdain, Parts Unknown.
Yeah, so
is that about food, or
it's still going to be the same as like No Reservations, but the way that he kind of described it is, it's a little more adventurous. He's like, so we don't have to have somebody shoving food in their face every 5 minutes. He's like, if we find something else that's interesting, we'll take a little detour, go with that, and kind of make it a little more diverse in its content. So.
Now, this event at Kiva, is there an admission fee, or what? Do we have a price on that?
They'll sell you a ticket, I'm sure.
Yeah. I know there is an admission fee. I'm not exactly sure of it, but I know you can find tickets either through Kiva's website or Anthony Bourdain's
Yeah,
website.
yeah, Google Anthony Bourdain. And
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're going to delve into some food here and talk about some pairings, and not with wine, but with beer.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about this, Justin.
Well, in my most recent column this week for First Bite is just talking about sandwiches, best sandwiches around town. And, you know, there's some places that don't offer, you know, beer and sandwiches.
Right.
But I think that's the most simple and easy pairing, you know, a great
Sure.
lunch, you know, great dinner, you know, whatever it is for you. There's a good pairing out there. And, you know, starting without the beer, you know, we have a couple images ready of... we have a banh mi sandwich, which is a traditional Vietnamese street food, essentially, and you see it there on the screen.
That looks good.
So what is this?
It's amazing. It's called the banh mi sandwich.
Okay.
It's traditionally it's going to have a baguette and then, you know, some sort of variation of pork. You know, there's the one that we have the image of is grilled pork. But, you know, you can do anything from head cheese to pork pate to pork meatballs. And then it's all garnished with pickled carrots, cucumbers, jalapenos, and then, you know, sometimes there'll be aioli or some sort of sauce on it as well. And a little cilantro just to give it that little extra kick. But it's all about balance with this sandwich. It's, you know, there's not too much heat from the jalapenos. There's not too much brine from the pickled vegetables. It's just, you know, it's all about a nice...
Do
even.
most Vietnamese places serve that, a banh mi sandwich?
Yeah,
or-
most Vietnamese places do. You know, my favorite that I found is, it's called banh mi coda, and they just do the sandwiches, and it's over behind Tall Inn Market, and they just, it's the best there is. They make their bread in-house, and, you know, they have a nice selection of different sandwiches that you can do as well, so.
All right, let's bring up this sandwich here. What is that?
That looks like...
Is that pastrami, ham?
Yeah, it looks like our ham sandwich over at Al's Big Dipper.
Banh mi coda.
That looks good.
Yeah.
Wow, look at that.
Yeah, and Al's, you know, I know we talked about them a little bit last week,
Yeah.
but they're a downtown sandwich shop, and they opened their new location last week.
Oh, so it is open now.
Yeah, and
Great.
the new location is a lot bigger. It does like 35 seats. It's going to be, you know...
Yeah, they're
lot.
serving sandwiches like that. You're
Yeah,
gonna
and they're
have a
opening
crowd.
earlier in the morning and going to do a little
Good.
bit of breakfast sandwiches too. So.
Now we got another image here of beer and pretzel.
Yeah, that's from Il Vicino Brewery Canteen, and you
Look
know
at
the
that.
thing about breweries is, you know, people think you just go there and you get your beer, but
That's it, yeah.
I mean, Il Vicino has some of the best sandwiches you can get because, you know, Tom White, he brings in, you know, just nothing but the top quality meat that you can get, and it's, I believe it's from Wisconsin where he gets all of his cuts, and you know, they also have like their beer and pretzels. They call them the beer sponges, which, you know, I think that's kind of a clever name. And they also have one of the best IPAs in town. So pair that with, you know, your favorite sandwich. They have a fantastic muffaletta sandwich, and it resembles your name.
Yes,
so I thought I would
you know,
throw
my
that in there for
family
you.
invented it and all.
That's not the first time you've
yeah.
heard that. Right?
Yeah, and then you know, there's also Bosque Brewing Company is a new one that opened over off of Alameda and San Mateo. And they do, you know, great sandwiches as well, and, you know, they're kind of getting their beer thing down, so that's another one to check out. That's probably the newest brewery that's opened. And,
I was reading yesterday that America's microbreweries are catching on around the world now. That a lot of these microbrews are heading out into other places and getting a global audience and
Lot of
a global
attention.
fan base.
absolutely. I mean, especially in New Mexico, I guess maybe it's not quite as well known that we have some of the best breweries in the country, not just, you know, I mean, several of the breweries here won gold medals at Great American Brew Fest, you know, where, you know, otherwise you have places in, like, in Oregon, where it's a big, you know, they have a big microbrew capital. And,
Yes.
but, you know, we have some of the best breweries, you know, in the country, and, you know, it's starting to spread, you know, out from Albuquerque.
And I think, I think a lot of people have noticed it, and they've caught on. And because every time I go to any of the microbreweries, they're pretty busy.
Yeah,
So.
definitely. And then, you know, like the ones that don't have sandwiches, don't have food available, there's always going to be the food trucks. You
Right.
know?
Yeah.
And,
Have you been to any of those lately?
Actually, I went to the supper truck. I got their fried chicken banh mi sandwich, and going back to that banh mi, it's my favorite sandwich right now, and it's actually becoming a really, really hot sandwich in, just throughout the country. It's kind of funny how a sandwich becomes that. But.
Okay, we're going to show the cover of Local IQ magazine once again with Anthony Bourdain on the cover. He'll be in town tomorrow night for his Guts and Glory tour. Yep. Good that we got it on his tour stop. It's good to have him in town. So
absolutely.
It's good to have you too, Justin.
Yeah,
Thank you for
Thanks
being
for
here.
dropping in.
Always.
We always
definitely.
appreciate it here.
Yeah, it's always I learn stuff every time Justin's on.
Except I get really hungry.
Something about that. All right, back in a moment with more on The Morning Brew. We're going to meet the head of the Boys and Girls Clubs here in Albuquerque in just a moment. I'm Larry Aarons with our co-host Aaron Muffaletto on The Morning Brew.